Hi guys, welcome to today's special with Shantanu. I'm in the mood for some Italian today. So I'm going to prepare something which is very much Italian in origin, but very popular now throughout the states, rather globally. It takes a little bit of effort to do this. It's a classic preparation. So let's cook some spaghetti meatballs with tomato sauce. So here I'm taking some beef mince, around let's say 150 to 200 grams, but not necessarily that you have to make it only with beef. If you like lamb, you can use lamb. If you don't like red meat at all, you can always use chicken. So with the beef, now I'm going to add an egg. Along with the eggs, some breadcrumbs for the body and binding. That's it. Some finely chopped garlic. If you feel you can't really chop it that fine, just make a paste out of it in a mixie. Some cracked pepper. Mustard goes really well with beef. It's like made for each other combination. So I'm just adding a bit of mustard sauce here. Nice. Some salt. The seasoning. And here is my secret ingredient. I've seen people add chopped onion to this, raw onion. What I prefer using is some nice golden fried onion. And for the hint of spiciness, I'm just adding one finely chopped red chilli. Now this is ready. It's got all the basic spicing, salt, seasoning. Now let's mix this thoroughly. So once this is gone through, again rosemary goes very well with beef and lamb, any red meat. So let's take some rosemary. Let's take out the leaves. So let's chop this. Fresh flavor from the rosemary. Once everything is in, I think I should leave this out. There's nothing better than doing it with my muscles. So let's just get this going nicely. Once my mince is ready, let me have a pan heating up on a low flame and back to the meatballs. Just take up a little oil, nicely rub it through. And now let's take this and roll them into good balls. So that size, and remember when you're making this size, whenever you cook meat, it shrinks a little. So if they're looking this big right now, they're bound to shrink a little. So this is good enough. You know, I think in one portion around 6 to 7 balls are good enough. So this is ready. Back to the oil, and with that a good dollop of butter. So once this is heating up, we'll start dropping this in very lightly. Nice. So I'm just slightly rolling this once in my pan, and this is important because once you sear it, all the flavor, all the juices in the meat are going to stay inside, and you're going to get a nice golden brown crust. Once I can see that the meat or the meatballs are fairly seared from all sides, we'll cook them on a medium heat. So I'm going to transfer it to my smaller burner. So let them sear slowly here. In the meanwhile, let's get to making the sauce. So once this is hot, what I've got here is tomatoes boiled in hot water for literally a minute and taken off the skins. So I'll take 2 of them. Yeah. So literally just chunky. Nice. Getting back to my pan. Once again, a good amount of drizzle of the olive oil. Some chopped garlic. A lot of it actually. I love garlic. And maybe just 1 fresh red chilli. The chilies and garlic are in. Time to sweat some onion. Now time to put in this chunky bits of tomatoes. And with that, I'm just using some canned chopped tomatoes as well. And mind you, this has got some sliced olives into it, which is good for the added flavor. So all this in. Again, a bit of puree for the body. Time to add some seasoning and some herbs. So just some salt and then some cracked pepper. And if it's too dry or if you think a lot of water has gone through, I'm going to add some water to get a nice liquid saucy texture to my sauce. The meatballs are almost cooked here. By now they should be around 70 to 75% cooked, but the remaining of the cooking, which is actually stewing, will happen in the sauce. So let this cook very well. And for tomato sauce, there's nothing better than using fresh basil. So let's take some fresh leaves of basil, just whack them and just break and drop it. There's no need to chop them really fine. So the basil is in now, and now there are two ways you can do it. You can either take spaghetti, just boil it a bit or blanch it a bit and mix with the sauce, but I like to present it slightly in a different way. So once again, I'm just shifting this pan here, and now let the pan for the spaghetti come in here, and I'm going to chop some parsley. Once the pan is hot, once again some olive oil. Once the oil is fairly hot, let's throw in some garlic, chopped garlic. This is boiled spaghetti that I'd already made around a portion. I'm just putting it in here nicely. In fact, just on this, I'm just sprinkling some water. So it gets the steam, but the flavor that comes out from the garlic and the spaghetti is going to stay with the spaghetti. If you blanch it in a separate pot, all the flavor stays back in the pot. Again, a bit of salt on this, some cracked pepper, lovely, and all the green chopped parsley that goes in, back to tossing it. So nicely stir it through and toss it. If you like, you can also throw in some black olives. So this is almost done now. What do we do next? We'll just take a plate here with the help of a fork. We'll try and turn the spaghetti and all in the center of the plate nicely. And let's just take the fork out and the meatballs, nice and chunky. And some of it on here, and just few flakes of cheese and some here. Lovely job. So my spaghetti with nice juicy succulent meatballs and chunky tomato sauce is absolutely made to perfection. Just go ahead and make this one, and I'm sure your guest, everybody's going to get really happy by eating this. Amazing. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to Get Curried.